They shouldn't be called dwarves.
No, they should be called people with dwarfism.
They shouldn't be called... What's wrong with being called dwarves?
Nothing, but that's not the correct
That's the
term.
story. Dylan, apparently you're not allowed to call yourself a dwarf.
Why even remake something if it was so problematic in the first place? Because Rachel Zegler
comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat, and that's why people are so annoyed.
G. Guns.
Please don't cancel us, no. Please don't cancel us. We're talking fake news and conspiracies. Come on, please don't cancel us. And though our subjects are all sensitive, come on, please don't cancel us.
Improv.
So do like a corny little intro.
A corny little intro. Welcome back to Please Don't Cancel Us.
Why are you looking at me? Look at the camera.
In the blue corner, we have Milan.
Ding, 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 ding.
In the pink corner, we have me.
Which is your name?
That was a very creepy smile I
It's
just
very
did.
cute. We have me.
We have me.
And I will be outside your window at 5 a.m.
Speaking of creepy, did you see this little, or did you remove it?
What?
No, look at this.
No, don't show people. What is it? I don't even know what you're looking at. What are you looking at? It's a rental. It's not my house. What is behind the curtain? Oh, what the fuck is that? Why does this have weird ass cheeks? Look at the ass cheeks. Look at that.
It's like a big butt crack.
Imagine having to like scoop that out.
This should be. Is this gonna be our little mascot?
I don't want it to be. Illuminati gave it to us. Put it at the corner of the desk so we can see it.
I think they can only see it in the wide shot.
In the wide shot. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Why is it pointing away? Make it point the camera. Yeah, there we go. That's great.
It's funny because
What's that laugh?
I don't know. It's like a nervous laugh. That little statue makes me nervous.
I don't like that the butt is facing me.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be like.
Why would you spend your money on that thing?
Why is it here? Why didn't they remove it? Did you think that's going to be like a nice decoration?
Yeah, because when we moved in, I told her to remove a bunch of the stuff, and I guess she was just like, no, they're going to want that. No, they're going to want that one for sure.
My family would always laugh at me if I find these things creepy, but they're creepy, right? I'm right, right?
It's very strange.
It feels funny also. Who are you showing?
Huh?
Who are you reaching out to?
What do you mean, who am I reaching out to? There are many, many viewers. The thousands of people who listen to us. Millions of fans.
You're
that
like,
we have.
you're like.
What? What do you mean? Leave me alone.
It was very funny. I feel like I'm not in the center. All right, so on that bombshell.
Bombs away.
Bombs away. Oh, what's happening?
Well, you wanted to be the center of attention.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Have you been watching the news recently?
We're not going to do that.
No.
We're not doing that today. I don't have the energy for that. I do not have the energy for that.
You don't want to go into
no, I'd rather go down
conspiracies today?
No, I'd rather go down a deep rabbit hole of like pottery today.
Pottery.
I'd rather, you know what? Like if this one gets you know what would be ironic, my brother. If this episode is the episode that gets the most views,
It's like you're not breathing right now.
it would make sense because we're doing flupping nothing on this. I'm trying not to swear. We're gonna write a letter to somebody's husband.
No, we're not doing that again.
We're gonna write a letter to somebody's husband. You start. I need to sneeze.
We're not gonna do that again. Like,
What else are we gonna do?
Get bored of it.
I don't know what else to do.
Well,
Here, improv.
No, improv.
Exercises. We're gonna do it.
Okay, fine.
Yes, and
we need to get back into the swing of life.
Yeah, and it takes a while.
It takes a
You
while.
stop podcasting. You're just like, hi.
Hi, but we've also not been updated on life at the moment. We've just been in our own bubble. Well, with everybody who's visiting us. Bubble. Well, show me. What's the improv exercise?
Well, I don't know.
You have no videos to react to either? No crazy things happening in the news?
Oh yeah, just give me about 10 minutes. We could cut a segment out of the show and I can go search for TikToks to show people if you want.
No,
So
but
then-
I thought maybe you had some because you're
I'm unprepared.
You're addicted to TikTok.
You're addicted.
No, babe, you're addicted to TikTok, and
Yes.
you know it. It's a problem. He watches TikTok about 500 hours a day.
Fortunately, unfortunately, great for practicing agreement imagination.
Okay.
What? How do you do that?
I don't know any of this. List of improv.
Rhymes. Rhymes has one simple rule, which is that every line must end in a rhyme. You can either require that every line rhymes with the same end word until a player messes up, or allow certain players to introduce new rhymes to the game. However, each line must still make sense within the proposed scene. To keep the game organized when playing with big groups, you can assign an order. Okay, so we can try rhymes.
Sure. Go for it. Start.
Okay.
So I have to rhyme the end of the sentence.
I'll make it easy for you.
Yes.
Well, the end of the sentence or just the last word?
The last word.
Let's just do the last word.
Yeah. How would you rhyme an end of a sentence?
When I was walking my cat,
I found a bat.
of which I tried a spat.
But it's the same rhyme the whole time?
Yes. And I'm a mime.
Are you a mime? So it's just going to be all the words that end in at.
Unless we decide to switch it up like we just did with rhyme. Mime.
But you can't, because otherwise you're out of the game.
Well, we can just, I don't know, put like 4 rhymes down and then switch it up. Like, it's improv. Like literally, you're the worst person for improv. You and the people that come out of your family.
Stop
you guys
dissing my family,
Dude,
man.
I'm not going to stop dissing your family until your family changes. Which means that I'm never going to stop dissing your family. Your family you're so organized. Like, okay, and then what's going to happen in the improv game? Like, it's going to develop the way it's going to develop because it's improv.
I understand, but I'm just trying to...
Didn't your sister go to an improv thing?
Yeah, she was doing like acting school.
And did it work?
I don't know. I didn't ever ask her about it anymore. Well, she's a lawyer now, so she's doing that.
Lawyers are great at improv.
Hey, she really liked performing, so...
I'm sure she did. Anyway, so let's get back to the show.
Okay.
Well, why don't you take a swing?
At your ding-a-ling.
My ding-a-ling has a ring.
With a wing.
A wing? A fling, perhaps.
With a very nice ting.
A ting ding-a-ling with my wing. What a thing. It's terrible. This episode sucks. We're gonna just power through it and hope nobody watches it. But just keep going. What a thing. You're not fucking advertising for Jurassic Park. Dude, fucking... What's the word for auditioning? I'm here to advertise for Jurassic Park. And I'm German, apparently.
Oh, God. Auditioning is also rhymes with fling.
Auditioning.
Oh, what a king.
My ding-a-ling. Okay, I think we're done with that game.
Now.
Oh, here, this one looks fun.
Great.
It's called Alphabets. We need to create a story. And the beginning of each story has to start with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, and you just keep going. So it would be like this. Ahoy, matey. What you been looking for? And then player 2 would say, buried treasure, because it's A, B. And then player 3 would say, Captain, I think I found it. Then player 4 would be, Dunderhead, that's not treasure.
That's treasure.
And then we just keep going.
Edward. Where is the treasure?
Faggot! Don't ask me questions.
You forgot E. Oh no, that was me.
Edward. What do you mean?
Faggot.
Also, this game is going to consist
That
of
was
a lot
rude.
of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Go.
Wait, where are we? Faggot? G. Guns!
Is that his name? Gunst? What about guns? Keep going. It's improv.
I want to say guns ahead or guns a-ho. What's the word for that?
Just say it. Let's go.
Gun's head.
How are we supposed to find treasure with guns?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
Look right here.
It's very easy. I'm sorry.
Kidding or not kidding?
Kidding or not? LOL.
Mysteries of this island are causing us to lose our minds.
Never mind all the guns. I'm sorry.
Open your eyes. Can't you see why we're here?
People, look.
Question mark?
Research has shown
Saliva is very potent.
to finding treasure.
Very, very potent.
Oh my god.
You're gonna say xylophone.
Xylophone. What other word is there with a fucking X?
Just keep going.
It's you.
No, xylophones. It's a sentence.
Oh. Xylophones are the treasure.
You would never believe that xylophones were the treasure, but it seems that's what we came here for. And now,
Zoe, we must find the treasure.
we already found the treasure.
Oh.
You have no linear path of storytelling. You need to like create a story, but it's fine.
Okay.
You shot around like semen.
Great. Well,
Great.
I think we've done an improv game now.
Yeah, we'll do it again next time.
Yes, I think we shouldn't be doing improv games.
I feel like that should just be the end of the show.
No, it shouldn't. No, it should not.
So anyway. That's how you know that you got a good podcast, when you say
No, but seriously.
Dude, I
We
swear.
never spoke about the random allergy to meat
Yes, we did.
that people are experiencing. No, we
Didn't
didn't. No, we didn't.
I thought we did.
We didn't.
I thought we did.
We did not.
Well, then why do you talk about it?
Well, apparently. Oh, no. It was in the news actually the other day that people are young kids are.
People are young kids.
People are young kids that heart problems and cardiovascular problems are becoming more common, and lung problems nowadays. Like the numbers have increased significantly. So their solution is to hunker down on smoking.
Oh, right. I remember
Yes.
hearing about that. Yeah. It was something like...
They really gotta.
it has nothing to do with the vaccine. It has nothing to do with
No,
that
they don't
at
even
all.
touch upon it.
I know, I'm touching upon it in a weird voice.
Yeah.
It's just that since we gave people the vaccines, lung problems in younger people are becoming a problem. It's vapes.
It's vapes. It's smoking.
Yeah.
Like they haven't already like hunkered down on that. And
How many times are you going to say hunker down in one sentence?
well, just I don't know the other word for it.
Are we watching this TikTok and reacting to the meat thing or no? Have we done that? Have we not done that in the podcast?
I don't think so.
This is just wild. The CDC has just released new data that suggests hundreds of thousands of Americans are astonishingly becoming allergic to red meat at an increasing rate. And if that wasn't strange enough, it says growing evidence suggests that the development of this allergy is primarily associated with the bite of a tick called the Lone Star in the United States. But it's also been reported in 17 other countries. That's a lot of vegan ticks. Those who have tested positive for the alpha-gal syndrome, not to be confused with an alpha-gal, essentially have an allergic reaction to the alpha-gal sugar found in not just meat from mammals, but often gelatin, which is used in these sorts of things, cow's milk, and other milk products including cheese and yogurt. And despite it first officially being described in 2009, only 5% of medical professionals in the United States felt very confident in their ability to diagnose or manage patients with AGS. Which is concerning when you read that the symptoms after eating meat can include stomach cramps, diarrhea, hives, drop in blood pressure, and a shortness of breath which could trigger fatal anaphylaxis. It's believed that 450,000 150,000 people might be affected by AGS in the United States alone.
But like, what is their game? Why do they want to make people allergic to meat?
First premise, whose game it is.
The lizard leaders, babe.
Oh, God. First, you should just say, don't you think it's crazy?
Don't you think it's crazy?
That humans have existed for hundreds of thousands of years. And we've eaten meat for all of our existence.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden...
we're allergic to meat.
After...
the vaccination.
Pandemic vaccination.
Yes.
Right? Also, is there research to support that this is just any and everyone, or it's specifically people who were vaccinated? I wonder.
I'm sure. I don't know if they've done that.
It's hard to do those things because there's like so many agendas, but I'm just saying it's interesting that after the whole pandemic, we are experiencing all these smoking issues, all these allergic to meat issues. Like, if you look at these people's agenda, right, these lizard leaders, as you call them, they want people to stop eating meat, drive electric cars, do all of these woke things. I'm sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but why? What's the gain of like, why would that be their like MO? Like, what would that do?
What do you mean?
Like, if we stop eating meat, then what? We have to eat bugs, and then?
It's interesting because I feel like I just feel like there's so much bullshit going on.
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying to disguise this whole eat clean agenda as like a eat clean, it's healthier for you, and it's going to save the environment.
No, it's veganism.
Yeah, but why are they promoting that? Like, I personally feel like they're trying to pull us away from what a healthy diet is.
Yeah, and why are Oreos satanic?
Why do you think?
I don't understand.
Well, again, the backstory...
Like, what is the story? Like, where the backstory is, it has Satan's cross on it, right? And the idea is that Satanists would eat
a piece of Satan.
Piece of
Oreos
Satan.
again. Check this out. Watch this to the end. I can never eat Oreos again. I can never eat Oreos again.
Okay.
Check this out. Watch this to the end.
All right, let's see it.
Through this book, and I see an Oreo, and my high hungry ass is like, that looks good, but hold on, wait, what? There's no way the Leviathan cross is on this cookie. Yes, it is. What?
Wow.
That is absolutely not a Leviathan cross. A Leviathan cross has a Lorraine cross coming out of an infinity symbol. The Oreo symbol has a Lorraine cross coming out of an orb. The Leviathan cross was adopted into Satanism by the founder of the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey, in 1966. Prior to 1966, it had associations with alchemy. It was known as the Brimstone Cross, and it was a symbol of black sulfur going all the way back to the 17th century, and it always had an infinity symbol at the base. Now, where does Oreo get this symbol from? Very simple. It actually comes from the Nabisco logo, and it was put on the Oreo first in 1952. Where did Nabisco get it from? Well, they got it from the logo for Inner Seal, which was the group responsible for the packaging on the Unida biscuit from the National Biscuit Company, Nabisco. This is from 1898. So where did Inner Seal get it from?
Yes.
They borrowed it from popular printers' marks from the 15th and 16th centuries in Europe, which put a Lorraine cross over an orb. And what did this signify? This signified Jesus' sovereignty over the earth. So the Oreo cookie symbol represents Jesus' sovereignty over the earth.
All right, so I guess Leviathan.
Well, that fucked up. That backfired.
So we're eating Jesus'
But hold on,
sovereignty.
wait. I have a question. Because when you go to church, they also give you little pieces of, like, cookie.
Do they?
Which is supposed to be, like, you're eating a piece of Jesus.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
When did you do that?
Why do we have to eat
Jesus?
Jesus and Satan and these things, like...
But then there were other symbols on the cookie that are also satanic.
Huh?
Yeah, like the crosses, they're satanic. But then again, I see this point also. Maybe we're just looking a little too far into it.
It's possible.
It's very possible. Like, a lot of things are like, okay, that makes sense. The Oreo is like, really? Really? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, look, it could be the same thing with the meat. It could be the same thing with the vaccines. It could be the same thing with the smoking. And I think that there's a lot of destabilization when you start creating these stories, right? Because it seems like a lot of this is just made to confuse people.
But to be fair, with the vaccine and all the stuff there, I think there it's a bit too like...
Yeah, but there it's a little bit too on the nose, but then here it's not. I'm just saying, like, there's a bigger thing going on here, which is everybody has a sports team that they support. Like, everybody's going to say, like, no, this is just Satan and they're hiding it with something else. Or somebody's going to say, no, this is actually derived from... religious Jesus thing. It's the same thing with COVID. Like, you're gonna say, okay, well, all of a sudden there's this spike in smoking related lung diseases, right? All of a sudden. Then people are gonna say, no, it's not all of a sudden, it's always been there, it's just that we never had the power to research it. It's like, it's the same thing as when people say that, you know, cancer never existed before these gigantic corporations, these Fortune 500 companies started coming in and creating these seed oils and these crazy things, right? Then people could say, well, yeah, we just didn't know how to test for cancer. Cancer always existed. So there's always two sides to an argument. I'm just saying that it's kind of like, and Joe Rogan has been guilty of this. Like, when you focus on one issue and you just try to argue the other side, to play the devil's advocate, you end up like destroying the bigger picture.
How do you mean?
So, like, basically, if you say something like, the earth is flat, okay, and you focus on that, then people can argue you to death. They can win, right? But then if you look at the concept of flat earth as a concept and as a bigger picture, how it links to the mysteries around aliens, as it links to the mysteries around the fact that going to Antarctica is illegal, that it links to this new world order, that it links to things like poverty or artificial intelligence or this and that. Like, once you start piecing all of these things together and getting a bigger picture of the thing, yeah, maybe flat earth, you're incorrect. But it adds a puzzle piece to a bigger framework that allows you to see a bigger picture, right? So what I'm saying is anti-conspiracy theorists will like zoom in on this big picture and point one thing out and then say, well, this is why you're stupid and this is why you're wrong. But then that's where things start getting debated and then they just get lost. And then you get people that stand their ground on both sides. Like, what people need to do is stop standing their ground on either side and look at the bigger picture. Like, it's the same thing that's happening with this whole Snow White controversy. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen the controversy, but I know about like what you were saying.
I typed in TikTok.
TikTok, 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 TikTok.
I think it's this one.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's the proactive one.
Okay, but why? Why? This is the part I really liked about the Barbie.
Nope, not this one.
When is it coming out? There's also a Cleopatra movie coming out.
Jadi 2 hari belakangan jagat internet telah digegerkan oleh beredarnya 2 teaser foto yang diduga diambil dari lokasi syuting live action Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Netizen terheran-heran seolah-olah.
I love how like it could be the most foreign language in the entire world and then Snow White.
Live action motion.
No, I'll see. I can't find the correct video. Oh, I like this girl.
Now listen, if Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that. But maybe think of an original idea. Maybe not destroy a classic from my childhood and put an actress in there that not only hates the plot and the storyline of the movie she's in, but also seemingly hates Snow White, the character herself. I mean, that's one interview clip that you read the quote from, but she's gone on to talk about this film numerous times, how she once thought Snow White was creepy. She doesn't like the prince. She thinks she should get paid more because she has to wear that dress. She should get paid for streaming. For every hour she has to wear the dress. I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Not only are you being casted in a classic film to remake it, but you don't seemingly like your own character. So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat, and that's why people are so annoyed. Beyond just them inserting feminism, I think we expect that at this point, but why do you have to mess with a classic, especially with someone who doesn't even seem to like her own character? Now listen, if Disney wants to make...
But show me this character then.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's the proactive one.
Okay, but why? Why? This is the part I really liked about the Barbie movie when they said, why can't there just be an ordinary Barbie? You know, she doesn't have a huge successful career, she's not a leader, she doesn't have all these incredible superpowers, or she doesn't have to have these amazing skills. She can just be an ordinary woman. I love that. Because the point of Snow White's fairy tale, isn't that she's gonna try and become a leader.
Okay,
that
here's
was...
here's what
show me the girl,
missing.
though. Show me the girl that's playing her.
This chick.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White.
I have so many issues with this new Disney Snow White remake, right?
Yeah, so basically, I'll try to explain it to you like this. I don't know why I can't find the actual video. I didn't like it. Oh, it's here. For sure. It must be on my feed, for sure.
Okay. So you seriously just found it on your phone?
Literally.
Because I want to like see what's being
here.
said.
This guy gives like an amazing breakdown. And I want you to see this because I was gonna basically butcher his take. Check it out.
Oh, I've seen him.
Roasted alive by the public, particularly here on TikTok, and the media wants you to think that it's because of racism. But this is the truth. Last week, this clip of the actress went viral.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White. She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can't be.
And TikTok exploded with thousands of posts criticizing the actress. And no matter what the criticisms were that came from fans and audiences, Hollywood and the media did what they do best. They spun the story, insisting the problem isn't with them and what they've created, the problem is with you. You're a racist, or a sexist, or not progressive enough, or even worse, you're a dwarf lover.
It's crazy. This one's crazy.
Because apparently in 2023, dwarves don't have a place in movies and media. And all of this just shows how out of touch Hollywood and the media are with their core customer base. The viewer, audiences. So in order to understand how we got here, let's break this down frame by frame. First, fans were upset that Snow White was cast by a Colombian-American actress. And when people brought up the fact that this did change the princess's iconic look, even fans that were just saying, hey, the costume looks like it came from a discount rack at Party City, anyone who had a problem with the look of this new Snow White, they were immediately labeled as racist. Then, when fans questioned the removal of the beloved Seven Dwarfs,
you're not even allowed to ask a question.
We, the public, were told that we shouldn't even be saying dwarf because it's somehow offensive and not politically correct.
Dwarf. They shouldn't be called dwarf.
No, they should be called people with dwarfism.
They shouldn't be called. What's wrong with being called dwarf?
Nothing, but that's not the correct
That's the
term.
story. Dylan, apparently you're not allowed to call yourself a dwarf.
And now that the lead cast member, Rachel Zegler, said that this isn't 1937 anymore, and the whole story needs to be refreshed, it begs the question, why even remake something if it was so problematic in the first place? Because Rachel Zegler was also quoted saying, ours is the PC Snow White, because it needed that. Our version is a refreshing story about a young woman who has a function beyond someday my prince will come. And after that quote, TikTok blew up with posts from creators voicing their preference that they don't want to watch a girl boss become a powerful leader. They just want a simple love story. And this is the real reason for why woke remakes are always going to be disasters. It has nothing to do with racism, sexism, or lack of progressivism. It's really about the fact that when it comes to storytelling, just like food, people have familiar staples that they enjoy going back to regularly. And these staples, in order to be successful, have to remain consistent. Because when we as human beings are craving something to tickle the pleasure centers of our brains, we go back to the things that we know and love, both in movies and in food. Just think about this. Maybe you love cookies, maybe sushi is your thing, maybe it's just a simple burger. People just like what they like, and that's never really going to change, no matter how much you or somebody else thinks it should. Now that being said, there is nothing wrong with brand new recipes and innovation making their way into media and into food. But when you change the recipe of a classic that was tried and true, that people already loved, you're going to have problems. Let's take Coca-Cola, straight from the McDonald's fountain. This is our example. If you change that, people are going to freak out. Fountain Coke from the McDonald's tap has been the same recipe since 1955, but its age doesn't matter. People don't want it to change even though it's old. We don't need something more refreshing than that because it's familiar, because it's a classic, because it works. And if you prefer Coke from the McDonald's tap, it doesn't necessarily mean that you hate Pepsi. You just don't want somebody forcing you to drink Pepsi and telling you that that's better than the Coke that you knew you wanted. You can like both of them and just be in the mood for McDonald's Coke right now.
What he's
and
saying,
the same is true in movies. But Hollywood and the media don't want to admit this, and they want you to think that this new version of Snow White isn't being accepted because of hatred, because of bigotry, because of the patriarchy, because of everything else that they say is wrong with society. But the reality is much simpler. There are just staples within storytelling and within the stories that we're all familiar with that shouldn't be altered if we want these pieces of media to be successful. These staples include things like searching for true love, falling victim to vanity and jealousy, victory and defeat, overcoming impossible odds, and the possibility of happily ever after. Because people really want and need that today, even if it's just a fantasy. OnlyFans, dating apps, and the lie of the independent, successful, career-driven woman in 2023 has destroyed the overall happiness of women and men in this country. In fact, right now, over 52% of American women are single, and Prince Charming coming into the picture to change that is a literal fantasy for millions of young women and adult women all over the country. And Disney has opted to not provide that as a theme within this movie so that audiences can escape the reality of what they're facing in everyday life. And Disney has done that because they are stupid. Because when you promise great-grandma's famous chocolate chip cookies, a recipe that's been passed down for generations, and then you bait and switch your dinner guests with something that's gone so far off the original recipe that it's unrecognizable, of course they're going to demand what they thought they were going to get. Of course they're going to ask for the thing that they knew they already liked. TikTok's problem with Snow White has really nothing to do with racism, sexism, bigotry, or anything else. People were just promised chocolate chip cookies, and instead they're getting a turd in the shape of a cookie. And when would-be audience members voiced their displeasure over this, the media does what it does best. They went ahead and gaslighted everybody, or at least they tried to. So just remember, there is nothing wrong with you if you don't like or want what you're being offered by the media. If it smells like dog poop, if it looks like dog poop, it probably is. And you're not weird for not wanting it, no matter how much the media tells you that you should.
So,
but it's so true. But it's so true. If you look nowadays at the dating life nowadays, it's impossible. It's literally impossible. The fact that we met in real life is
insane.
Is like
it's insane.
A new thing.
Yeah.
Like nobody meets in real life anymore, and it is so difficult to find. To find a partner nowadays. Is it because they're trying to, or like, is it because it's like some sort of thing that we all are so alone that therefore we have no leg to stand on anymore? We're so confused.
No, but
we're alone.
Here's the thing that I'm really confused by, right?
It's okay to look for true love.
That's what I'm saying.
Very
like
normal.
It's so
that's what
inappropriate.
we live for.
It's so inappropriate when you are trying to look. Let's say you're fighting the good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in your mind, you think that you're combating racism, bigotry, patriarchy. You should know better than to become the thing that you're fighting against, right? The thing that you're fighting against is overpowering. That's your mindset, right? Like these people are overpowering, they're pushing a narrative. Therefore, you should not fight them by being overpowering and pushing an alternative narrative. It's the Pepsi Coca-Cola analogy. You shouldn't just create Pepsi and say, if you don't drink this and tell me that it's better, you are racist and you will be banned from society.
Yeah.
And the problem here is money.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all about money. And this is why Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yeah.
Because he saw that there was so much narrative pushing that he wanted to try to put a dent in that. Because large corporations were changing their behavior based on tweets.
Yeah.
And these tweets were coming from a very small percentage of people.
Yeah.
The mass majority of people are the ones that are using TikTok that are now reaching out against Snow White. And it begs the question why, if 5 people on Twitter are angry at something, a company will change. But if 5,000 people are angry about something on TikTok, nothing will change. And then you can go down a conspiracy rabbit hole and think about like what their agenda is.
Yeah.
But the bottom line here should be money. You should be wanting to make money and to create a good product. I mean, Disney is losing its status.
It's just going too
as
woke.
One of the biggest, dreamiest, amazing companies that have ever existed, right?
Yeah.
That's how it built its foundation. And it's funny that if you think about all of these young and upcoming college students, which are now probably in their 30s, 40s, maybe even 50s, that have these woke idealisms that are changing the infrastructure of Disney from the inside out.
Yeah.
You can see what it's doing to the franchise. You can see what it does to Marvel. You can see what it does to Disney. You can see what it does to any of these big corporations. And it's really sad. It's really sad. And then you think about TikTok and how they tried to censor or remove or delete TikTok.
Yeah.
And then again, people on TikTok were like, hey, you're taking away freedom of speech.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing. It's like, we're going to give you what you want. We're going to tell you what you want. And if you speak against us, we're going to destroy the platform you use to do so.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But there's another interesting thing that he just touches upon there in that video, how so many women and men are unhappy at the moment.
Everybody's unhappy. Look, every boy wants to be a fuckboy with a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
And every girl wants to be this strong, independent lady, which is also kind of like a fuck girl.
Yeah.
It's a weird culture. Like, you're 12 years old and you're watching every girl on the internet shake their ass, and you're watching every guy with a Lamborghini.
But
so
at the same
if you're a
time,
guy and you don't have a Lamborghini and you're not jacked out of control and you don't have girls everywhere, you're a fucking failure. If you're not wearing a Rolex. So what do? You start taking steroids, you don't need them. What do you do? You start living this weird lifestyle and you start cutting your hair in the TikTok fashion and you start doing these weird things to try to garner attention. You do the same thing as a girl.
Yeah.
That's where the unhappiness is coming from. And Disney was always like the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, but that's not only
I never interpreted Disney movies like
pushing a narrative.
No. I was just like, I'm going to take away from that the message, the overall message, which is like, oh, you could wait for something better. Like, there's something out there. There's something dreamy. It's called hope.
Yeah.
It's like you're destroying hope.
And love, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
And totally,
like, who wants to be lonely?
But
Nobody.
Also, let's just acknowledge the elephant in the room. Obviously, if things were made in the 1930s, there's going to be a sprinkle of racism in there.
Yeah.
Whether it's racism or bigotry, there's going to be a sprinkle because at the time it was era appropriate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, yes, if you have a fucking parent or a grandparent that's over the age of 60, they're going to say some different words. Just like in 60 years from now, no cap is not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So, like, yes, if you go back 100 years where people were doing blackface and they were not allowing black actors in shows or in movies and they were just pushing them out, it's not correct.
No.
For today's standards.
No.
But who's to say that in 100 years from now, people are not going to look at us and be like, yo, look at what they tried to do with Snow White, with Little Mermaid, with these other art pieces, and how fucking backwards they were.
Yeah.
It's always been my stance, dude. Like, if you have a painting, and that painting was like as special as the Mona Lisa. I'm not very into art, so I don't know if there's a painting out there like this that exists. But if there was a painting that sparked a lot of controversy because it was owned by a slave owner or painted by the bloods of slaves, right? Does that mean you should burn it? I just think that there's
I don't
more
know about that.
Okay, fine. Maybe I went a little bit too extreme with that one. But what I'm saying is art in general is art.
Yeah.
Books are books.
Mm-hmm.
History is history. And I don't think that you should shape it to fit your current narrative. It should just stand against the test of time. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, that is true. But also, like, the whole empowerment of women thing, like, the pendulum is just swinging too far to the other side. And who's to say that you can't be an empowered woman and still need a man around? Like, what is that narrative? Like, I know all my friends, I think all of my friends, they like having a man in their lives. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like, but they still want to pursue a career.
You know why that is, right?
Yeah, because there's no men.
No, I'm gonna get a lot of hate on this one. It's because the only reason that women are allowed luxuries is because of men's existence. That's the only reason. Like, listen, it's Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right at the bottom, you got food, shelter, survival, right? Heat, fucking food, and water. That's it. It's a basic human requirement. I guarantee you that if you're at that stage, you're not thinking about equality, you're not thinking about Snow White, you're not thinking about males versus female privilege. You're thinking about, I want a big, strong gorilla to go kill something so that I can eat it.
Yeah.
And I want that big, strong gorilla to build something so that I'm out of the rain. So that I, as a woman, can be safe and nurtured and healthy, that I can also
do what I'm supposed to do.
Breed, because that's also on your hierarchy of needs, right?
Yeah.
Like
that is what we're biologically made to do.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that everybody needs to do it.
Climb up that hill. Climb up that pyramid, right? Get closer to the tippy top, where you have Netflix, you got spas, you got all of these things that human beings never thought they would be able to experience. You're flying through the air on first class. You're eating caviar while you do so. You've got Bluetooth music. You got butlers on hand and fucking foot. You're in a luxurious world.
If that's the life you're living, yes.
You're in a luxurious world, even if that's not the life you're living. Even if you're just a low-wage income person living in New York City, you're still got some luxuries.
Yeah,
right?
compared to Neanderthals.
Yeah. That's where the argument for equal rights begins. That's why the argument for equal rights has been started so recently. Because only recently we've gotten to a stage where we can entertain that argument. And that's why if you go to places like that are underdeveloped, that argument is not there in the same way that it is in Western culture. Like you go to African tribes, right? Where they're still pretty low on that hierarchy, but they figured some shit out.
Yeah.
And therefore, men and women, even though they have their own roles, are very equal.
Yeah, but it's just equality in
they're
a different
respected
way.
in their own field.
Yeah, it's just a different thing.
So what I'm trying to say is like, this should now shift from a war into a progressive interaction between the two sexes.
Yeah.
Like, it shouldn't be against men.
No.
It should be with each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're still stuck in the it's your fault mode.
Yeah, but not only that, like it's like women taking over the role of men.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Look, in a perfect society, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, of course.
You should be able to have media and entertainment, right? That suits whatever fucking narrative you want to pursue. Right? If you're a girl and you want to be a boy and you want to watch a movie about a girl becoming a boy and have like some Barbie Ken version of that, you should be able to have that.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you should go back to 1936 or whenever Snow White was created and remake something that could serve the same purpose for someone else.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of girls, like you're saying, that need that.
Well, it's not even need that. It's just like, it's the fantasy. I can't like, I'm sure there's a woman out there that doesn't feel it, but I can highly doubt it. Everybody looks for their Prince Charming, Princess Charming, whatever the fuck. Like, we all want that companion in life. Like, so why does that need to be like a problem?
But here's
why does the romance fantasy need to
but
die?
You're missing my point. My point is, should you create a banned section? So, for example, like, if you're not going to recreate Snow White, should you ban it? Should you make it illegal?
No.
Why?
Because it should just exist.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, if it's problematic and you want to ban it, then just don't ban it and put it... You can't ban it. Like,
No.
it's history. It's art.
It's history.
Like, listen, there's a lot of, like, beheading videos on the internet.
Yeah.
But you're not going to watch it unless you go looking for it.
Yeah.
So just do the same thing with these movies. Like,
Well,
if you really
yeah.
think that they're so fucking racist and blah, 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 against dwarves or against like whatever.
Yeah, but what the hell? Like, why are dwarves not allowed in the new Snow White? That's just
because you're not allowed to say dwarf.
Then call them elves. Like, what?
No, elves are a totally different thing. But
give it a new name. I don't know.
The thing is, man, like, again, are you getting a general consensus from dwarves, from little people?
Yeah, but what the hell? That makes no sense also. Because if you look at Lord of the Rings or any of these fantasy shows, there's dwarfs in there.
Yeah, but that's a dwarf playing a fantasy character, aka called a dwarf.
Yeah, but can I not just be dwarfs in fucking Snow White? Weren't they that?
That's exactly what
they were. The seven dwarfs.
Yeah, they were not supposed to be little people.
They're not little people
dressed up in costumes. They were literally written as dwarves that live in the fucking woods, doing dwarf shit in a fantasy. You know, like how you can sing to an animal and it can talk to you like fucking Bambi.
Like a hobbit. Should we like also ban hobbits then and ogres?
Yeah. See, that's the thing. It's like
the fantasy part just dies.
and again.
It doesn't all need to be fucking female
what was it? Lilo and
empowering.
Stitch. They got the perfect actor that's actually born and raised in the exact same place that the character in the movie was.
Yeah.
And then they're shitting on her for not being the correct shade of brown. So it's really like you can't please these people. And honestly, I think what's happening here is it's a war on individualism.
Yeah.
Like if you look at houses, if you look at any modern architecture, it's all angular, it's white, it's dead. Why? Because that can be marketed to more people.
Yeah.
Because there's no personality. Like if you go to Paris, the street lamps, the buildings, the architecture, the streets, everything about that essence has a lot of personality, aka Paris. That's why you love to go experience Paris, because it's an experience, because it's new, it's different. Italy, Venice, Rome, I named so many different places in the same fucking region. Eastern Europe.
Italy is Venice and Rome. Eastern Europe, just like random.
India, South America, North America. Like these are supposed to be unique locations that you go for what?
For the experience there.
Exactly. So my point is, when you start modernizing everything and removing personality from everything, and every street lamp looks like the same fucking just angular shit with a bulb, and everything just loses its personality. You're doing the same thing with movies and culture.
But also, if everything has a fucking agenda, we don't want to watch it anymore. Like, stop with the agendas. Just
I remember when this first started for me, like, I first noticed it with Ghostbusters, when they remade Ghostbusters with an all-female cast, specifically for the purpose of making it an all-female cast. Like, if it happens to be that, it's so much more palatable. And you know, like, I've spoken to a lot of gay people. Like just recently, there's one guy that does my hair, and I spoke to him about a similar topic, right? Like movie industry, Little Mermaid, all of that stuff. And when you speak to people who are in that community, it's all bullshit.
Yeah, they're just like, why are you doing
Nobody supports that. They're just like, dude, make something new.
Yeah.
You don't have to destroy something that's kind of good just to make something that suits.
And it
your
also
life.
doesn't need to be touched upon in everything that we do.
Not all the time.
Like, there doesn't have to be a transgender in every movie we make. There doesn't need to be a gay person in every movie we make.
You know what it's like? It's like my sister runs the world.
Yeah.
Like, it's like there's so much fucking sensitivity that nobody's allowed to laugh anymore.
No.
Maybe that's why comedy is so big right now.
Yeah, because...
It's like a safe space.
Yeah. Because we can finally vent about it. Like,
you can go into a room and somebody can be like, you know what the problem with black people is? And it's funny. Because black people laugh at that.
Yeah.
You know what the problem with Asians, with white people, with this? You could say whatever you want in a comedy cellar because it's comedy.
And with women.
And that's why when we watched Tropic Thunder not that long ago, it's like refreshing.
Yeah.
To see people make jokes.
Yeah, and just fuck around. Like,
just fuck around, dude. That's why the 2000s was such a better era.
Like,
because
scary to breathe nowadays.
Yeah, literally.
Can't say anything anymore.
No. You gotta be so PC. You gotta be so...
But listen, that's why, honestly, I think being here for me has been very refreshing. Just like seeing... Because here, it's a bit more traditional, and that doesn't mean that that's better, necessarily.
No, it doesn't. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't have its own challenges.
Yeah,
like,
no.
It is also unprogressive in its
own
way.
Of course, 100%. But, like, it is very refreshing to be allowed to be a woman.
Yeah.
And to be allowed to be a man. And to be treated like a woman. And to be like, you know, oh, she's a woman, let's help her. I don't care. Like, yes, please. I love that. Like, treat me with a bit more chivalry. Like, it's dead. Yeah. It is dead. Yeah. And the men just being men. It's very, for me, it's very refreshing. And what I'm trying to say here is...
Who did I speak to the other day? She's a woman. And she said one of her favorite things about living here is that if she's walking down the street, she can feel perfectly safe.
Yeah.
Because if somebody does come up to her and try to steal her bag, all of the other men will like run after that guy and kick the shit out of him and give her the bag back. Or if she feels unsafe,
which is great,
a guy will just escort you to wherever you want to be and make sure that you're taken
Nobody
care
can
of.
say that that's not great. Like, that would be great to have that in any country.
Yeah, but imagine being a woman and having that sense of
safety.
Security.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm safe because of a random stranger that'll step in.
Looked after because you're a woman. Yes, so what? You're weaker than a man.
Yeah. Last time I checked, that's a good thing.
I mean, it's a good thing if your community helps you in that situation.
I personally, maybe I'm indoctrinated, so I don't know better, but me personally, growing up, watching movies and being taught by my mom, like, hey, you get out of the car and you open the door for the lady.
Yeah, that's
You pull out the chair.
You know how many women crave that?
If you drop her off, you either walk her to the door or you stay there and you make sure that whoever you're dropping off, even if it's just a friend of your girlfriend, you make sure they go inside the house and then you can drive away.
Yeah.
It's these small things which...
You know how appreciated
are
that
not
is.
meant to keep women down. It's meant to prop them up.
And protect them, which is fine. Because, I mean, no woman is stronger than a man, unless it's like, you know, a specific type of man and a specific type of woman. But generally speaking, a woman is built weaker than a man. That is just a fact.
Physically, for sure.
Of life. And it's great to feel protective because any woman walking down the street and there's a creepy guy walking behind her doesn't feel safe. And if it's a creepy woman, it's also a bit scary, but it's a little less... It's a little less aggressive. And who doesn't want a man to step in at that moment? And believe me, you can ask almost all the women, they would love a bit more chivalry in their lives. And a bit more like door opening and chair pulling out and all this. But it's not being allowed anymore. And men don't even know how to act anymore nowadays. Because they get shat on if they do things like that. You know?
Mm.
What are you looking at?
Put your headphones on. I wanted to show you this video. I don't know if this is the correct video, but something like this.
Hi, I'm Danny, and welcome to episode 3 of What Women Want, but we will never tell you because we want you to read our minds. We got Kason in the car today.
No.
Hi. She is going to be my fact.
That's funny. It's true. Oh, doggy. What is this?
I'm trying to find this video.
Excuse me, sir. What's happening?
No. I remember seeing this video that it's like, so as a woman, you want to be treated chivalrously, but you also want to have your independence. You want to do this, but you also want that, and then you also want this, and you also want that, and you got feminism, and you got this, and you got that, and you got this, and you want it. It's like these women that are making these videos about how complicated the list is.
Yeah. Hey, excuse me.
We're in the middle of something.
Would you like to get in?
Asshole.
No, he's upset.
Yeah. I think he's like, guys, the episode's done.
Yes, I think it is.
I think it is. Well,
anyways.
I mean, we're going to get back into the swing of things.
Yes.
It feels like we're slowly getting there.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. It started slow, but ended fast.
Bye.
Please don't cancel us, no. Please don't cancel us. We're talking fake news and conspiracy.